What is up, Bleacher Report? Jesse here with Last Second Sports. And sometimes you have a whole show planned and you scrap it all because a major signing happens. Brock Purdy signs a massive contract extension with the 49ers, 5-year deal, $265 million. $53 million average annual value, $100 million guaranteed at signing, and $165 million guaranteed the first 3 years. First of all, Brock Purdy, congratulations. I've heard some other news about Brock Purdy that should be coming out soon. So a lot of good things happening in the Brock Purdy household in his life. He deserves it. And shout out to you, man. You got yourself paid. That's exactly what you should have done. So kudos. Now, the question is was it a good deal on both sides? And we're not going to fully know the 49ers side of things until everything is brought to the surface. Everything's been leaked as far as what the actual signing bonus is. We do know that he's getting $100 million guaranteed, but we don't know what the signing bonus is. We don't know when the outs are. But I've pulled 2 contracts to compare to that have similar verbiage, initial verbiage, I should say, when it comes to the fully or the overall money, the amount of years, how much is the signing bonus, all of that. I've got 2 similar contracts. One of them was a 4-year deal. One of them was a 5-year deal, but a lot of similarities when you look at the money that's guaranteed. The question is what is the signing bonus? That's really what it comes down to. So let me see if I can share this with y'all. All right. We should be able to see this here, hopefully. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, let me bring this back up. Okay, so we've got 2 contracts in front of us. We've got a Jalen Hurts contract. We'll go here. And we've got a Jalen Hurts and a Jordan Love contract, okay? Now, when you look at the numbers, a lot of similar verbiage, right? So Brock Purdy, 5-year deal. That matches up with Jalen Hurts. $51 million AAV instead of Brock Purdy got 53. This is what we don't know right here, the signing bonus. And this is what I'm curious. What is this signing bonus? Because this signing bonus is going to dictate when there's an out in this contract. And I'll show you why here in a minute. Brock Purdy got $100 million guaranteed at signing. Jalen Hurts got $110 million guaranteed at signing. And when you hear $165 million guaranteed, we've got that guaranteed for Jalen Hurts at 180. So I don't think we've got the fully guaranteed. Actually, I want to say the fully guaranteed is like 181 with the injury guarantee, which is usually what the fully is. So very, very close to the numbers that we're looking at here for Jalen Hurts. Now, let's talk about the Jalen Hurts contract and if it's structured like this, why this would be a good thing for the 49ers. Also, by the way, Brock Purdy's getting a lot of money. He's fine. So Brock Purdy's taken care of. I wouldn't be too worried on his side of things. Him and his agent did what they needed to do. I see a lot of mixed feelings around this contract, both sides of the house, right? Well, Brock Purdy's agent didn't do a very good job. He only got a $53 million AAV. Let's cool our jets, all right? Life-changing money. Brock Purdy is perfectly fine. Him and his family, they are going to be well taken care of for many years to come, okay? So Brock Purdy's fine. Then there are people that are frustrated with the team aspect. And what I will say is hold your frustration. The devil is always in the details with these contracts. And that's why the signing bonus is very, very important. Now, in Jalen Hurts' case, that signing bonus was only $23 million, almost $24 million, I guess. That's extremely low. And the reason that they were able to do that is, remember, the last year of his deal was in 2023. The first year of his new deal was in 2024. All right. Now, 49ers tend to structure their contracts where it's basically a 2-year deal before they have an out. So if it was similar to this contract, instead of the out being essentially after 2026, if we look at it, I'll show you here in a minute, heading into that 2027 season, the out would be heading into the 2026 season. But let's break this down real quick. Why this deal would be good if it's structured like this? Well, when you look at the deal for Jalen Hurts, look at these cap hits. Year one of that new deal, $13.5 million. Year two, $21.8 million. Year three, $31.9 million. Year four, $42 million. Now, this says, hey, you've got a potential out here. Really, they've actually got a potential out after the third year of the deal. So if we go and we look at this, let's cut them here, okay, instead of where they're saying we've only got 20 million in dead cap on a pre-June release. If we do post-June, it's only 12 million with 7.7 million the next year. And if we trade them, the numbers are good no matter what. So really, this structure would be awesome for the 49ers because people wonder, well, you know, the Eagles won a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. And I've heard that if you pay a quarterback that's not elite, then you can't win a Super Bowl. Well, yeah, if you pay him the wrong way, the numbers sound fantastic. But the way that it's structured, the Eagles are making out like a bandit. They'll really, if they cut him after year three, they never got over 32 million in a cap hit. And imagine in 2027, a cap hit of 42 million. This cap hit is never going to reach top 10 cap hit money for quarterbacks. It's just not going to happen. I want to say this is the first year that it does, but that's before all these young cats get paid. All the, you know, the Jaden Daniels and before Lamar Jackson gets his new deal. And I'm sure at that point, Patrick Mahomes will have a new deal. And what does it look like for Caleb Williams? And just this, he's never going to reach top 10 AAV money or cap hit money. It's just not going to happen. That's why this deal for the Eagles is fantastic. And if the 49ers structured it like this, it is also an awesome, awesome deal. Now, we heard that 165 million guaranteed the first 3 years. All right. Well, let's take a look at this here. We've got 64 million guaranteed. It jumps up to 106. And after year three, $158 million is what the guarantees are. Total guarantees for Jalen Hurts. Sounds pretty similar to that 165, right? So there's a possibility that this deal is structured very, very similarly to what Jalen Hurts got. And I think that if that's the case, I don't know how anybody could be mad at that. I really don't. I mean, the 49ers will have crushed this deal. Brock Purdy gets taken care of. And you keep those cap hits so low that winning a Super Bowl is definitely within the realm of possibility. Now, I will say the Eagles are very unique in the way that they structure deals. Nobody has a deal even close to this. So I reserve the right to say, I have a feeling it's not going to be structured like this. I don't think that signing bonus will be this low. However, we do have another contract that we can look at that would also be a really good deal for the 49ers. Okay. Now, 4-year deal instead of 5-year deal, but 55 AAV. Brock got 53. 100 million guaranteed at signing. Brock got 100 million guaranteed at signing. $165 million for the first 3 years. Well, we've got $160 million fully guaranteed. Unrestricted free agent in 2029. Brock, I believe his deal goes through 2030. Okay. Now, if it is structured like this, also very good for the 49ers, right? If they decide to take an out on Brock. Now, you look at these cap hits. Year one of the new deal, just under $30 million. Technically, 2025 this year is year one of the new deal. Year two of the new deal, $36 million. And then you've got your out here. You've got your out here. After the 2026 season. So really after 2 years, you can do a $51 million dead cap, or you do a post June 1st. It's only $36 million dead cap, $15 million in 2028, and it's manageable. It's manageable. Now, it's not as awesome. I will tell you, it's not as awesome as that Hurts deal. The structure of that Hurts deal is massive. But when I hear a guaranteed signing of around $100 million, I expect a signing bonus closer to this. In fact, what we can do is, let's look at the cash breakdown. Then we'll look at Tua's deal as well. So cash breakdown, after the first 3 years, $186 million. We've got $165 million after the first 3 years for Brock Purdy. Now, remember, 2024 was the final year of his original deal. So that one doesn't count. Brock Purdy's is $165 million guaranteed in the first 3 years. I've got to imagine that doesn't include 2025 because most deals don't. We're talking new money, usually. Okay, let's look at Tua's deal real quick, because AAV-wise, it is basically exactly what we have with Brock Purdy. So his deal was also a 4-year deal, $53 million AAV, 93 guaranteed at signing, $167 million fully guaranteed. These numbers are close again. $42 million signing bonus. The reason I don't like this one, and I hope it's not like this, is look at those cap hits. Look at those cap hits. Those are significant cap hits. Significant cap hits. The difference is the cap hit, if you cut them, is much lower than it is on Jordan Love's contract. So you can see we've got 3 contracts that have similar total numbers and how you twist and turn and AAV and guaranteed at signing. And what is the signing bonus? What is the signing bonus is super important. How is it structured? When are the outs? When there is an out, how much dead cap is there? So to me, I always said once this deal broke, people are going to lose their mind one way or another. I hate to be the voice of reason, but I did always say, let me wait until the details come out before I freak out one way or another and say, oh, this was a great deal or this was a bad deal or what are they doing? I reserve the right to wait because the big numbers always make headlines. The devil is always in the details. And I've shown you 3 contracts with a lot of similar numbers that are structured very, very differently. I hope it is not structured like this. Let's go look at one more. Let's look at one more here. Because I think Trevor got a 5-year deal, which is more in line. Perfect. Okay. Trevor's deal is a 5-year deal. 5-year, $275 million. That's $10 million more than Brock. AAV of 55 instead of 53, obviously. $142 million guaranteed at signing. Brock only got $100 million. Signing bonus of $37.5 million. Total guarantees $200 million. Brock is around the 165 number, it sounds like. So Let's look at his deal, though. Year one of the new deal is this year. $17 million cap hit. $24 million cap hit. $35 million cap hit. See, I like these cap hits. 47. The cap hits are better than Tua's. But you essentially don't have an out. It doesn't look like. I mean, you could have an out after the first 2 years. $44 million in dead cap. If you split it over 2 years, it's 36 and 7. It's manageable. It's manageable. Really, his is closer to that 3 years where it's only a $7.5 million dead cap hit after the first 3 years. I mean, that's not bad. So his cap hit or his out is really after 3 years. I would prefer, in order, give me the Hurts deal number one. Give me the Love deal number 2, the Lawrence deal 3, and then Tua deal 4. I hope it's not the Tua deal. I really hope it's not the Tua deal. I want those cap hits to stay low. I always said, everybody knows that I would prefer that if they made Brock Purdy play out his deal. I've been very clear about that because I don't know what he is. However, I was never dumb enough to think that they weren't going to extend him. It was obvious that that was going to happen. And so once I came to grips with that, which was pretty early on in this process, it was clear. It was, all right, that's fine. How is it structured? How do you keep those cap hits low? And when are the outs? All of those things will matter to me before I have a full reaction. I would prefer a 2-year out versus 3. But if it's 3 and you keep cap hits super low, I think that's a win for the 49ers. Listen, Brock Purdy, to me, at his peak, has been like the 9th best quarterback in the league. And at his worst is like the 16th best quarterback. This deal in 2 years, right now it is 7 in AAV and 8 in guarantees. That's not bad. In a couple years, it's going to be lower. You know, it's going to be 10, 12, something like that. It's not that bad. And when you add on the fact that if it's structured properly, this window can stay wide open. And that's all I care about ultimately. Yes, I prefer an elite quarterback. No, I don't think paying a non-elite quarterback is smart. I don't. But if you structure this properly, it can be a win. And I do think that Brock Purdy, if his money is managed properly or his cap hit is managed properly, can win a Super Bowl. I do. I mean, they were this close. Now I get it. At that time, he was making less than $1 million or whatever. That is never going to happen again. But if that new money doesn't kick in until next year and that cap hit goes up another $20 million, and let's say he's got a cap hit of $17 million, is that really that big of a deal? And then the year after it goes to 24 and the cap hit goes up another $20 million. And then it goes to 35. You understand, like, this is not that big of a deal. This is manageable. It is manageable. So that's the way that I look at it. I want to know, what are the true numbers? What is the actual signing bonus? What are the actual years? When are the outs? How is this thing structured? That is way more important than the headline making news of $265 million over 5 years, $53 million AAV, $100 million guaranteed at signing, and $165 million guaranteed the first 3 years. All of that sounds awesome, but all of these deals sounded crazy when they went down. Like, when you heard 5 years, $275 million last year, the salary cap's gone up like $20 million year over year. Brock Purdy getting a deal of 5 years, $265 a year after Trevor Lawrence got it. It's like, is it really that shocking? And then you add in the fact, and I said this once we got the cap figures for Trevor Lawrence, I said, They got a great deal here. The Jags smashed this deal. And if Brock Purdy's contract is structured the same, the 49ers smashed the deal also. So this, it's all in how it's structured. Again, if it's the Tua deal where they have massive cap hits for the first 2 years, that's a bad job by the 49ers. That's just simply a bad job by the 49ers. They have plenty of ways, plenty of contracts to look at to manage the cap. That's what matters. That's what matters. And on a personal level, regardless of what I think of Brock as a quarterback, I'm glad he got his. He should have gotten his. Players always should try to get theirs. And when you look at the landscape of the league, what he got is not out of line. And it's up to the 49ers to protect themselves long term by driving down that cap number and giving themselves out. Every other quarterback has them. So how did the 49ers structure it? That's all that matters. And we're not going to know that for at least 24 hours. And the way that deals leak for the 49ers, I mean, we probably won't know potentially for like 5 days. It takes a while for their deals to leak. In fact, DJ Humphries has been a 49er in our minds for like 2 weeks. And then we found out 2 days ago that he's no longer a 49er. Oh, just kidding. He didn't actually sign with the 49ers. Crazy. So we're not going to know for a while. The 49ers are interesting. They keep things under wraps a little bit. I also want to say that the fact that the 49ers sold, I think, 6% of their business just a day or two ago and cashed in on $500 million doesn't surprise me that the Brock Purdy extension gets announced right after that, because money has to sit in escrow. Now they've got the money freed up to pay him, no problem. Let that money sit in escrow and they're good to go. So to me, once they sold that equity in the team, no shock here that we've got this Brock Purdy deal. This falls in line with kind of what you thought might happen when we found out about that roughly 48 hours ago. So I think overall, again, happy for Brock. And as long as the 49ers structured this thing like either Hurts, Love, or Trevor Lawrence, they'll be fine. They'll be perfectly fine. And guys, the window can open up. Now it's about accumulating talent. Now it's about accumulating talent and maximizing in the draft. That's on the 49ers. That's on the front office. How great of a coach is Kyle Shanahan really? How great of a defensive coordinator is Robert Saleh really? How quickly can these young players get up to speed and make a difference in this league? That's what's going to matter. This Brock Purdy contract is nothing but a bump in the road if they've structured it properly. If they didn't, that's on them. Can't blame Brock. That's on the 49ers. So we'll see. We'll see how it's structured. We'll find out soon. By this time next week, in fact, I go next Thursday is the next time that I go on Bleacher Report. I've got to imagine we'll have an answer to this question. And then you'll have a true reaction out of me, whether it was good or whether it was bad.